Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number one recruiting class in the nation for the 2027 cycle resides in Norman, America, and has for quite some time. And the Sooners lengthened their lead on the field this morning. Grayson Singleton picking up commitment number 6 in the 2027 cycle from 3-star running back Jaxsen Stokes out of Sierra Canyon High School in Chatsworth, California. Get your 3-star U jokes in now, why don't you? But this is the obvious place to start off here on today's program. Grayson Singleton, brand new commit for the Sooners.
Yes,
and
sir.
a guy that, despite the 3-star label for the moment, is really, really easy to like on tape.
He will not be a 3-star by the time he signs with Oklahoma. And if you want to know just about this dude, well, how about you just let Lightning McQueen tell the story, right?
Focus. Speed. I am speed.
Yeah, dude's fast as hell. He is incredibly fast, and he's got a burst that a lot of OU fans have been saying lacks in the running back room over the course of the last couple of years. He has that. As soon as he gets the ball, I mean, you're talking about explosiveness, you're talking about home run hitting, like real home run hitting speed. I don't know what his 40 time is. It's not listed, but I can imagine that once he gets to college, it's going to be a pretty enticing number. No, this kid's going to be fun.
And frankly, it doesn't really matter what his 40 time is. If you just turn on the tape, it's very easy to see. Okay, I don't really care if this guy's track fast. This dude is football fast.
Yes.
Really football fast. One of my favorite lines from the movie Cars is when Lightning McQueen arrives in Radiator Springs, and he's having the back and forth with Doc Hudson. He's like, I don't mean to be rude here, Doc, but you probably go 0 to 60 in 3.5 years. That's the other thing about Jaxsen Stokes, man. He goes 0 to 60 in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that really, really stands out about him on tape, to me at least, is that he has an ability to elude defenders in the open field without gearing down.
Yes.
So, once he hits 5th gear, man, he stays there. But he can still sink the hips and change directions and cut back and rip off a spin move, juke a guy out in the open field, all while maintaining that speed.
And one of the things I wrote down when I was watching the film is he's got really good balance. Like, that's what that comes down to, is the balance. And you see it when he's sifting through traffic in the hole, too. How he can just remain on balance on the balls of his feet and then make his cut and then explode again. So you're right. He never gears down, and because of it, he's just a really tough guy to really wrap your arms around. I think he's going to be an exciting player.
Yeah, he's a slippery dude. No question. Blue Green Country says, does speed neutralize wiggle? No, he's got speed and he's got wiggle.
That's exactly what you just were talking about.
Yep. Right now, he is regarded as the number 40 running back in the country, according to Rivals.com. However, I will read to you this observation from my good friend Greg Biggins, who does a tremendous job covering the West Coast at Rivals. He is as astute an analyst as anybody on the recruiting scene out there. And here is what he says about Jaxsen Stokes. His full thoughts are posted up at ouinsider.com for our members there. But he posted this about an hour ago. Like Stokes a lot and think he's probably the top running back in California for the 27 class. Like the initial burst, decisive, doesn't try and dance around, get too cute. It's see the hole and explode through it. Not a big back, probably closer to 5'8" than 5'10", but he's strong, runs hard, and has a nice edge in his game. He's also not afraid to run between the tackles and shows good contact balance. Always seems to make that first guy miss and has some shake and wiggle to him. There you go. Catches the ball really well out of the backfield, and I could even see him playing some slot wide receiver.
And that was something that also stood out. He has played some slot receiver at Sierra Canyon High School down there in Chatsworth, California. I mean, he has the versatility to be able to do that. So if you want to throw in a wrinkle here and there, absolutely, you could certainly do it with this type of dude. By the way, when he does line up in the slot, you know sometimes when you kick a running back out to the outside or you put him in the slot, he'll run routes and you're like, okay, that's a running back, right? Not with this dude. Like, this dude looks very comfortable and very fluid when he's running routes as a slot receiver.
So Oklahoma has their man at running back in the 2027 cycle. Well, they got a man at running back in the 2027 cycle. I still think they're going to push for two. And there are a bunch of different dudes that could wind up being the second back in the class for Oklahoma. But Jaxsen Stokes is on board as take number one for the time being. And Grayson, the Sooners, if we kind of, not really rewind, but if we shift our focus from 2027 back here to 2026, the present day, the 2026 cycle, yes, the Sooners have DeZephan Walker committed. He's a blue-chip running back, talented player in his own right. But, man, this Messiah Mickens thing is getting interesting.
Talk to me.
This Messiah Mickens thing, man, so right now, he is scheduled to OV to Oklahoma the weekend of November 29th for the LSU game. I have been told that Oklahoma is actually trying to push that OV date up a week. They want him to get here for the weekend of the Missouri game. Because at that point, he would probably be, barring additional changes and shifts to the visitor schedule the rest of the month, he would be the only official visitor in town that weekend. Malik Franklin, Jonas Muya, those are guys that are going to be showing up November 29th. Or, you know, they plan on showing up November 29th. That's been the plan for Messiah Mickens. But the feeling from the OU end is they have a serious chance to turn that kid away from his Penn State commitment, which is wild because, as we've discussed, he is from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He has been committed to the Nittany Lions for over 2 years. But look no further than the fact that DeMarco Murray was up there visiting in person with Messiah Mickens last night. The Sooners are a player here.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not sending somebody all the way up to Pennsylvania if you're not. And also, the fact that there's real traction toward getting him to move that visit up from the 29th to, I guess, would be the 22nd for the Missouri game. No, you don't do that if there isn't some serious ground that you've made up here. Now, I don't know if knocking somebody off their Penn State commitment is that wild, just that in and of itself, because, you know, they don't really know who the coach is going to be.
Sure.
But to flip a kid from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to possibly Norman, Oklahoma, that might be a little bit wild. I would agree there. And also, by the way, you know what could help out too? You got the peer recruiting aspect because you already flipped Jasir Rogers.
And Jasir Rogers and Messiah Mickens are very close. Very close. That is helping Oklahoma right now in a very meaningful way. And Jasir Rogers announced earlier today that he is shutting down his recruitment, which I don't know why that's an announcement these days, folks. That's an example of the phenomenon of an edit for everything. Like, we have an edit for everything these days. Everything is news. Everything is not news. You would assume naturally that a kid's recruitment is, quote unquote, shut down when he makes his commitment. But I guess it's a new piece of news when his recruitment is officially shut down.
But how many commits do you see taking visits elsewhere?
Oh,
yeah. Like that seems to be so commonplace to where it's necessitated that somebody say, hey, y'all stay out my phone.
Of course. Of course. It's just, it feels highly redundant. Regardless, Jasir Rogers' recruitment is shut down. He is an Oklahoma Sooner. He will be signing with the Sooners next month. And in the meantime, he will be working to help Oklahoma flip Messiah Mickens from Penn State. And like again, Grayson, this is serious. This has become very serious. Like, if Messiah Mickens does not stick with Penn State, I genuinely believe at this point the odds are highest that he winds up flipping to Oklahoma. And it makes all the sense in the world why you would move his official visit up a week for the Missouri game, right? Because if you want that dude to truly be able to make the most of what will be his only Oklahoma experience before signing day, you want him to feel like he is the only dude in the world. that is walking around the halls of that building as a priority for that staff. You want him to feel as if he is the guest of honor, the most distinguished guest. And that's easier to do if he's the only official visitor set for one particular weekend at Oklahoma. So keep an eye on that. As of right now, Mickens' visit is set for November 29th. But again, my expectation is that gets moved up a week to November 22nd. That is what OU would like to happen, is to be able to get Mickens to town a week earlier and make their first and last impression really count. I guess it's not their first impression. He's been to Oklahoma before, but it's been so long. So this is one where you want to make it count. You want to be able to pull off a final flourish, if you will, in this process to be able to turn him away from the Nittany Lions. And what an impressive flip this would be, because I know, right? I know Penn State doesn't have a head coach right now. I know you're it kind of feels like easy pickings to a certain extent when you're looking at programs that have fired a coach and trying to lure their commits away. But to sway a Pennsylvania kid from a long-standing pledge to Penn State, especially when you know Penn State's one of those programs that's not going to stay down, right? It's not like they're entering the dark days. It's not like they're entering an era of total insignificance. That takes some doing, man. And mad props to DeMarco Murray if he can pull this thing off.
Oh, you just became enemy number one of the text line saying mad props to DeMarco Murray.
No, listen, it is. I am officially declaring today, Friday, November 7th, 2025, this edition of Locked In shall be a DeMarco Murray positivity hour. He deserves it. He got Jaxsen Stokes committed today. He has Oklahoma gaining major steam to flip Messiah Mickens, from Penn State. This shall be a DeMarco Murray positivity hour. Say something nice about DeMarco Murray on the text line, 405-651-3439. And in the meantime, I will repeat a nice thing that Jaxsen Stokes said about DeMarco Murray in his commitment interview with Adam Gorney of Rivals.com. He said, the whole DeMarco thing is he was where I want to be. He was in the NFL. He was a top back in the NFL. He won awards in the NFL.
And he got paid.
Chris from Knoxville says, DeMarco can recruit his butt off. It's the development and mind-numbing rotation that drives us crazy. You had me in the first half, Chris. We're only saying positive things about DeMarco Murray here. Only positive things. Please and thank you.
Well, here we go. A texter in the 405 says, DeMarco Murray is the bomb. Tell the haters to shut up.
Boom. That's what we're looking for right there.
There you go.
Thank you. That's what we're looking for. 405-651-3439. Before we go any further, want to remind you that the show is brought to you by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. If you're shopping around and in the market for a brand new vehicle, go check out Dorsey Jones because GMC offers some of the most reliable trucks and SUVs on the road today. And Dorsey Jones can offer you fantastic service, a family-owned and operated establishment that offers half-price oil changes on Saturdays. So if you don't have weekend plans, now you do, folks. Make the drive out to El Reno and check out Dorsey Jones. This is great. I'm loving the feedback we're getting on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line right now. Jamie in White House says DeMarco looks like he could still play.
Mm-hmm.
Elk City Sooner says DeMarco dresses nice. Somebody said DeMarco has nice eyes.
That was Brian from Maryland, and also Sooner Johname. I hope I pronounced that right.
Johname?
Yeah. DeMarco Murray is really nice looking.
He does look like he could still play, man.
He does.
I mean, what is he like? He's got to be like 37, 38. Generally, running backs are not still playing in the NFL at that age.
4-star Evan from Blanchard says, DeMarco hates Jaden Knott, just like me. What is that? The enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Pretty much.
Type of thing?
Pretty much. Jaden Knott, enemy of the state. That's just how it's going to be. Probably forever. So he got paid a bunch of money to come to Oklahoma and do basically nothing. Spray tan strikes again. That's a deep cut right there. Hey.
Wait, hold on. Hang on. Back up. Who is Spray Tan?
Spray tan is DeMarco Murray. If you know, you know, and that's all I'm going to say. Because that is not a story for air. But yes, Well done.
I guess I'm going to ask you that when we get off the air.
Yes.
The only thing I'm going to say is, why is a black man nicknamed Spray Tan?
I will be happy to share that story with you off the air, but only off the air. Jant also said, I have DeMarco Murray's phone number listed as Spray Tan in my address book, and I'm proud of it. I love that people know the lore, man. Absolutely fantastic. DeMarco Murray Positivity Hour rolls on here on Locked In. However, coming up next, it's time for a little Friday film study. Very, very excited to highlight one high-level Oklahoma target in the 2027 class at a position where you love to have absolute dogs. I mean, you like to have those guys at all positions, but this is one particular position where a guy that brings this particular player's mentality to the table is somebody you love to have in your program. We'll talk about the player in question in great detail coming up next here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Do you eat, sleep, and breathe Sooner football? We do too. This is The Ref, home of Sooner fans.
Have you or someone you know suffered a loss to your home or business from the recent storms? Before you accept a settlement, call Brown O'Haver at 405-735-5510. Brown O'Haver is a local-based company helping Oklahomans with claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Oklahoma.
Game-winning deals at Eskridge Honda. Like right now, you can drive home a 2025 Honda Accord SE. It's loaded with a moonroof, heated seats, and more for just $28,888. That's right, only $28,888. Limited availability on these beautiful used courtesy program Accords. So hurry in today. New location at 89th and I-35 or online at eskridgehonda.com.
Stock number 3079. See dealer for details.
Imagine stepping into your backyard and finding the oasis you've always dreamed of. With Signature Custom Pools, dreams really do come true. Our expert team is dedicated to designing and building the perfect pool for your family, where every detail reflects our signature touch and commitment to quality. Ready to transform your backyard? Call us today for a free consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit signaturecustompools.com. Signature Custom Pools, where professionalism meets artistry and every project is built to the highest standards. Make your dream a reality with the Signature Touch.
Life can be complicated, but saving money shouldn't be. At OU Federal Credit Union, they make saving simple and stress-free. The best part? They have no hidden fees. Joining OUFCU means you're in control of your financial future. Whether it's a rainy day fund or saving for that dream vacation, they've got you covered. Visit OUFCU.com or come by one of their branches today. OU Federal Credit Union, where savings is simple and dreams come true. Member savings insured up to $250,000 by the NCUA.
Let's talk turkey. Riverwind is OKC's favorite place to play.
And we've got plenty of jackpots to be thankful for.
Why stop at one thrill when you can chase all three at once?
Play blackjack, baccarat, and roulette on our all-new gaming machine.
Looking for the best in rewards? Elevate your player status when you win with your wild card.
Fridays in November, play for your share of our $120,000 Pixel Power giveaway.
Expect the best at Riverwind.
Coach Stokes here for Van Hoos Fence. If you want to work with the best local fence company and get championship service, contact my friend Mark and the Van Hoos Fence team. Van Hoos Fence gives each customer the most professional craftsmanship and competitive pricing in Oklahoma. From wood to chain link to vinyl to metal fences, the Van Hoos Fence team does it all. Contact the Fencing All-Americans at Van Hoos Fence, 405-735-1167 or vhfence.com.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler Standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
I'm pleased to inform you all that Grayson Singleton has been brought up to speed on the spray tan lore. He is now informed.
I now would like to be informed about something else.
Oh, no.
I
reserve the right to decline to answer whatever question is coming next.
Mojo Bo on the text line says, I love DeMarco, but did you warn Grayson about butt gout?
Yes.
First of all, no, you didn't.
Well, I'm saying yes, I will answer that question.
Oh, okay.
I can and will answer that question. That is derived from a moment in the 12 o'clock hour in which Steely disclosed, for one reason or another, that he was feeling pain in his right butt cheek.
Okay.
The text line diagnosed him with butt gout. And it's been a constant topic of conversation ever since.
Okay,
amongst the texters.
That ain't that bad.
No, it's really not.
Because, there's everybody saying, hey, did you tell Grayson to sanitize his seat and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Which, Steely was at Riverwind today.
He was at Riverwind. He was not here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios. By the way, I'm glad someone on the text line brought this up, because if there is no other reason why you can admire DeMarco Murray as an Oklahoma football fan, and I would posit that there are many, many reasons, but if there is no other reason why you can appreciate DeMarco Murray, you can certainly appreciate him because he told off Lincoln Muleshoe Riley. The day that Lincoln Riley left for USC, he very briefly met with the team, shed some crocodile tears, and boarded a plane for Los Angeles. The two men, as the story goes, that were willing in that moment to stand up to Lincoln Riley and tell him he was full of BS were DeMarco Murray and Justin Broyles. Those were the two. So, folks, if nothing else, DeMarco Murray is a true Sooner. Let's talk about 4-star 2027 linebacker Colton McKibben, shall we? Because this is a player that is going to be the subject here of our Friday film study. I know that you have now had a chance to watch the film. His film is... It's very, very impressive.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely love this kid. He has been to Oklahoma this season. I want to say it was the Auburn game that he visited for. It was either Michigan or Auburn. I cannot recall with 100% clarity, but I want to say Auburn. A native of Carlsbad, New Mexico. Who was the last New Mexico Sooner? Tommy McDonald was a very prominent former New Mexico Sooner. Landry Jones was a very prominent New Mexico Sooner. Landry Jones might actually be the last one. But the Sooners are in pretty solid shape in Colton McKibben's recruitment. And Grayson Singleton, this is a dude that I love. And in terms of just the overall priority list for Oklahoma the rest of the way in 2027, he's pretty high up there for me.
And he should be. He absolutely should be. And I played the Lightning McQueen I Am Speed when we were talking about Jaxsen Stokes. And it would be pretty applicable to Colton McKibben here. He's a very fast linebacker, side to side, covers a lot of space. Also, by the way, I don't know if this stood out to you on the film, he's pretty good in pass coverage, too.
He is?
He's pretty good dropping into a zone, baiting the quarterback, reading the quarterback's eyes, has very good instinct about where receivers are. I really like that part of his game. But if there's one word that you can use to describe this kid, it is violent. He is incredibly violent, and he is a rocket. Once he diagnoses a play, he sifts through traffic very well. He takes good angles, and he hits you with an amount of force to where it is impossible for you to fall forward. So, like, that is my overall takeaway. That kid, he's a really good player.
He's also a big old boy.
6'3", 225?
6'3", 225 pounds. And he wears the cowboy collar.
Mm-hmm.
And this is perhaps the most crucial aspect of his tape, Grayson Singleton, because it's nice to see a linebacker who is athletic. It's nice to see a linebacker who hits hard. It's nice to see a linebacker who can drop back in coverage and hold his own. But if you see a linebacker who wears the cowboy collar, that is a can't-miss prospect, ladies and gentlemen.
What is the ratio of high school cowboy collar linebacker transitioning into really good college play?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, how many high school linebackers do you see wearing the cowboy collar?
I have not seen one in person. You don't get to wear it.
You don't get to wear it unless you're a dude. How many people you ever seen? I'm asking this not just to you, but to the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. You ever seen a linebacker wear the cowboy collar and suck? Last linebacker that wore the cowboy collar at the University of Oklahoma, Danny freaking Stutzman.
Right.
And he could ball.
Wearing a cowboy collar and being trash as a linebacker is like being a basketball player wearing a shooting sleeve and you can't shoot.
Correct. It's a badge of honor. And you have no honor if you suck. You receive no honor if you suck, I should say.
It's one of those things, either you're really good or you look like a dumbass.
Correct. A 405 listener rolling on with DeMarco Murray Positivity Hour in the midst of our Colton McKibben discussion says, DeMarco is also a man of faith. Used to see him at church every Sunday at Norman when he was playing by himself, FYI. A 319 listener says, DeMarco is Gunny's weed man. It's a heck of a 1-2 on the text line right there. I don't think DeMarco Murray is the one supplying Gunny with weed. If that's the case, DeMarco Murray commutes quite often to Porter, Oklahoma. And I don't know that he has that much time in his day. Chris from Knoxville points out DeMarco is a program guy. He declined going to Ohio State. Not only did he decline going to Ohio State, he declined going to Penn State, and he declined going to USC. Even after telling off Lincoln Riley, he had the opportunity to go follow Lincoln Riley to USC for more money, and he turned it down.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. Let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
If DeMarco is such a suspect coach, why are those programs wanting him?
It's a great question.
Like, the math ain't mathin' here. Now, look, like, the way that he's managed the running back room this year and last has been a little bit questionable. I will agree. But if this dude can't coach at all, Ohio State and Penn State wanting it, that doesn't add up to me.
Sooner78 says Buki wore a cowboy collar. Get out of here with those alternative facts. Stop trying to disrupt my narrative, dang it.
Buki did wear a cowboy collar.
Hey,
I did forget about that.
Don't affirm this. Don't affirm this. Alternative facts. These are alternative facts. Tyson from Stigler says, what did DeMarco say to Lincoln Riley? I mean, I wasn't there. I've only heard accounts of what DeMarco Murray said, but it was basically something along the lines of, stop crying. There was a word in between stop and crying, allegedly. But stop blank crying. You're a man. You made this decision. You're the one that's going to have to live with it. Something to that effect. Cool Moj on the text line says, Taylor Wine with a cowboy collar would be a scared straight episode for QBs.
Yeah, it would.
Taylor Wine deserves the cowboy collar. I would be okay with that guy wearing the cowboy collar. But, man, Colton McKibben, if you look at the way that Oklahoma's 2027 class is shaping up and the need that they're going to have at the linebacker position, in the 2026 class, they have Bo Jandro, they have Ja'Cory Smith, they have Jacob Curry. It's probably, and it's hard to project reliably this far out, but you'd think it's probably a two-backer class in 27, maybe three. And if you're coming up with a top two, if you're trying to sift through Oklahoma's linebacker board, and, you know, let's call it a top three, because obviously you will expand by one for the right guy. You will expand your numbers at a given position by one for the right guy. And I think all three of these guys that I'm about to mention could be categorized as the right guy, a good enough guy for Oklahoma. The three at the top of the board, in my mind, Taven Epps,
okay,
Colton McKibben, Case Alexander. Those are the three. Those are the priorities in my mind. And it's really no secret how Oklahoma feels about Case Alexander just down the road in Washington, Oklahoma. They had several staffers out to watch him earlier this fall, I believe mid-October or so. So they put a great emphasis on their pursuit of Case Alexander. Colton McKibben, he's been on campus this year. Taven Epps, he's been on campus this year. Those are guys that are spending their own time and money to come from way out of state to come check out the University of Oklahoma. And, man, I think the overall, if we want to take this picture even bigger here, I think the overall impression that I'm getting and that everyone ought to be getting at this point with regard to Oklahoma's recruiting efforts in 2027 is it is entirely permissible to dream really big in 2027. It may seem too good to be true based on the last few years for Oklahoma on the trail to think that the Sooners could land 3 high-level blue-chip backers in the same class between Epps, Alexander, and McKibben. I'm just here to tell you, there's a very real world in which that happens. And linebacker will not be the only position at which Oklahoma is rife with blue-chip talent in the 27 class. I firmly believe, and it's been a while since I said something like this, years, I firmly believe Oklahoma could piece together what will stand as the number 1 recruiting class in the 2027 cycle.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I don't know when the last time it was that a number 1 class was devoid of a 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
So where are the 5-stars in the 2027 class? Oh, okay, Cooper Hackett, I guess.
Cooper Hackett and Caden Penny.
You think Caden Penny will end up as a 5-star?
He already is.
When did this happen?
Yeah.
I was like, there you go. You got 2.
You got 2 5-stars right now. Now, we'll see whether Hackett and Penny hold 5-star status. I would think just because of the position that Penny's going to play at
Which
the
is
next
guard.
level,
yeah,
he's probably a guy that settles in the high 4-star range. It's very, very difficult, very seldom that you will see an interior offensive lineman tabbed a 5-star on signing day. But you'd figure Hackett is going to remain in that territory. And again, Penny's probably not going to drop outside like the top 50 or top 75.
Now, where are we seeing that Penny is a 5-star? Because your Rivals currently has him as a high 4.
Yes, he is a high 4 on Rivals. But if you look at the 24/7 Sports composite, he is the number 23 player in the nation, the number 2 interior offensive lineman, and holds the 5-star distinction.
That is correct.
So, I am unashamedly using alternative facts there to push an agenda. Caden Penny is
we pick and choose. Hey, a lot of questions on the text line asking about Cooper Witten.
Yes, and he's a guy I've been asked quite a bit about him the last couple of weeks. The long and short of it is that there was a time where OU led. I'm not convinced that is still the case. They're in it. They're probably going to get an official visit, don't get me wrong. But Notre Dame is in there in a big way. Tennessee, his dad's alma mater, is in there in a big way. And Texas A&M is very prominently involved in his recruitment as well. So, understand that I would not go as far as to say that Cooper Witten, or that Oklahoma leads for Cooper Witten, but they're certainly towards the top of his list, and they're more than likely going to get a chance to win him over during official visit season next summer. Until then, just kind of got to be content to live on the roller coaster and ride it out. Gator says, Cowboy Collar All-Stars, Brian Bosworth, Leighton Vander Esch, Howie Long.
Leighton Vander Esch. Mr. Concussion himself. Was he concussions or was he a neck problem?
I'm pretty sure that was concussions.
I think he was concussions.
He was a good player there.
He was a good player for the Cowboys, yeah.
But yes, Brian Bosworth is the king of the Cowboy Collar. There is absolutely no question about it. Blue of Green Country wants to know, is Case Alexander a 4-star? Yes. And He is the best linebacker that I have seen in the state of Oklahoma, I would say, since Jake Clifton in the 2022 class. And, of course, he wound up at Kansas State and played very, very well there for 2 seasons before embarking on his LDS mission.
Hey, we've got a question about Jaxsen Stokes on the YouTube. And Jimmy says, what kind of running back is Stokes? To a reply that JG says, scat back. Do you believe he's a scat back? Because that's not what I get.
What's your definition of a scat back?
Third down dude that you try to get to the perimeter or you spray it out to him in the flat.
Yeah, and he's got that in his skill set, right? So I don't think it's an inaccurate characterization. It may be an incomplete one. I don't think he's just a scat back.
Yes, he is utilized as a 3-down back at Sierra Canyon.
I mean, kind of like the prince of all scat backs is Darren Sproles,
correct?
Right?
Yes.
But Darren Sproles was a 3-down guy and a dang good one at the collegiate level.
That
so,
is true.
like,
Yeah.
Jaxsen Stokes, one of those guys, yeah, he might be a scat back in the NFL one day, but at Oklahoma, he will get more than just third down usage, at least if he proves himself worthy.
And I bet you that question doesn't come. Not that whoever asked the question is off base here by any stretch of the imagination, but that question doesn't come if he's not 5'8".
Probably true. Probably too. Not a huge back, but dang, he's explosive, really good at making guys miss in the open field, and brings that element of versatility as a receiver that you got to have in the backfield. When was the last time Oklahoma had a legitimately good receiving back? Not just a guy that could catch passes, but a guy that was a meaningful contributor as a receiver. You know what the answer? I think the answer is actually Ramondre Stevenson.
Which is not something you think about him as.
No, but Ramondre Stevenson was a really effective receiver when he was at Oklahoma. Okay, folks, we got to hit a break here. 405-651-3439. Final segment of the week here on Locked In coming up next. This is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
If you want to start training for a high-demand, high-wage career in healthcare, construction, IT, manufacturing, or STEM while you're still in high school, the time to apply to Moore Norman Technology Center is now. High school applications for fall 2026 close on November the 15th. Talk to your MNTC rep at school or visit mntc.edu to learn more. Change your life, build your tomorrow, start your future now at Moore Norman Technology Center.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. We take our tagline, where Oklahoma gets engaged, to heart. Engagement rings, so many different styles and price ranges. We even have rings that are ready for a proposal this weekend. However, if a custom, one-of-a-kind design is your style, that's our specialty. Natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gems. Let us create her dream ring. Stay in the loop with us on our socials or at mitchells-jewelry.com, or come see us at 2201 West Main in Norman.
Winning in business means having the right teammate. Stride Bank's commercial banking experts are here with treasury management, lending, and cash flow solutions designed to help your business score big. From local startups to established enterprises, we've got the tools and expertise you need. Visit stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC. Stride Bank on your team since 1913 with Oklahoma roots and nationwide reach.
This winter, hit the court and join the action. The Youth Winter Basketball League is here, open to athletes of all skill levels. Build your game, make new friends, and compete in a fun, supportive environment. With flexible registration options and volunteer coaches focused on teamwork, there's a spot for everyone, whether you're playing for fun or aiming to compete. Don't miss out on early bird pricing. Scholarships are available for Norman residents based on need. Sign up today and make this season unforgettable. Visit YFACsport.com. Hey, Ref Army, want to know what's happening in Norman? Pick up Boyd Street Magazine, Norman's oldest community magazine. Get the latest on OU sports, local eats, to spotlights on incredible businesses, nonprofits, and can't-miss events. Boyd Street keeps it local. Read the current edition free at boydstreet.com or pick up any copy at racks across Norman and more, like at Legends, Interurban, Louis Pub W, and La Baguette. Follow Boyd Street on social media for bonus content and to find even more pickup locations. That's Boyd Street Magazine, your community connection. You might know that State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has great service. Cindy is your good neighbor after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Norman. So call State Farm agent Cindy Nasher at 405-307-0500 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hey Norman, are you looking for a new Kia? At Sooner Kia of Norman, you can save up to $6,000 or 0% financing on a brand new Kia. Need service? Full synthetic oil changes or alignments are just $69. November 1st, they're hosting the City of Norman Animal Welfare Mobile Pet Adoption. Stop by and meet their new GM. He might be from California, but he's all Okie. Grab a deal you cannot afford to miss. Sooner Kia, 418 North Interstate Drive in Norman. Better deals, better service, better get here now.
Final segment of Locked In here on a Friday. Parker Thune, Grayson, Singleton. I was scrolling through my feed on Twitter.com, Mr. Singleton, as one does. And ran across this story earlier today from Pete Nakos, fantastic national college football reporter at On3. And I guess he wrote an expose, if you will, about the Jaxsen Arnold era at Auburn and how it got Hugh Freeze fired. And the quote that he used to promote the article, the quote that was in the tweet to which the article was linked, was, and this is not attributed to anyone beyond an anonymous source affiliated with Auburn Athletics, but the quote was, "We saw it in spring. We saw it in training camp. Nothing that's happened has been a surprise," in reference to Jaxsen Arnold. And I read that and I couldn't help but think, man, that sounds exactly like 2024 at the University of Oklahoma. Because it was the exact same story, man. All spring and all fall, there were big-time red flags with Jaxsen Arnold. And naturally, everyone, and I'm part of this, so shoot, I'm not excluding myself from this, but there were so many people in the program, associated with the program, who just kind of shrugged it off and figured he'll play well on Saturdays, though, right? I mean, he's a former 5-star. Maybe he's just got that gamer to him. Former Gatorade Player of the Year. There's no way this isn't going to work. Yeah, okay, he throws interceptions. Oklahoma just has a really good defense. That's what it is. It's not that Jaxsen Arnold can't play football. It's just that he goes up against one of the best defenses in the country every single day on the practice field. But, man, the thing you kept hearing, in addition to that, is Michael Hawkins looks better. Jaxsen Arnold's getting outplayed on the practice field by Michael Hawkins. But, of course, with the level of investment that the program had made into Jaxsen Arnold, you couldn't very well start the true freshman over the sophomore, former 5-star heir apparent who was making 7 figures. And so Oklahoma had to learn the hard way with Jaxsen Arnold. And unfortunately, Auburn did the exact same thing. And it's easy to second-guess in hindsight, but from Pete's story, it seems apparent that there were a bunch of well, I shouldn't say decision makers, because the decision ultimately came down to Hugh Freeze, but there were a bunch of influential people in the Auburn circle that wanted no part of Jaxsen Arnold, and Hugh Freeze was married to the idea of Jaxsen Arnold. Unfortunately, the idea of Jaxsen Arnold was better than the reality of Jaxsen Arnold. And again, at a certain point, man, there's going to be an immense temptation to operate with the sunk cost fallacy. Because when you invest 7 figures into a transfer portal quarterback, you feel like you have to do everything in your power. You have to give him as much runway as possible to make it work and get your return on investment. And that just never came at Auburn. And I cannot take credit for this. This was a Ronnie Crimson original. He texted this to me earlier. He said, Maxtion Arnold has a nice ring to it. And that might be what it is next year.
Yeah, he'll end up at some directional school. A texter in the 918 says, it rubs me the wrong way that the narrative is that JFA got Freeze fired, as if Auburn and Hugh Freeze weren't bad before Jaxsen got there.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Like, yes, they were bad before Jaxsen Arnold got there. But the straw that broke the camel's back, ultimately, was Hugh Freeze's decision to hand the keys to Jaxsen Arnold. It was a pivotal juncture for him last December. His next starting quarterback was going to make or break his career at Auburn. He chose Jaxsen Arnold. It broke him.
A texter in the 319 says, Hugh Freeze is like those dumb girls who think they can fix bad dudes.
Or dumb guys who think they can fix bad girls.
I was about to say, I would go the other way. That sounds like dudes who ignore 10 million red flags in a woman.
And here's a great point from a 405 listener. Jaxsen Arnold is the reason they have no problem sitting Jada Knott. Some lessons you only have to learn once.
Yeah.
Oklahoma learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Jim in Arlington wants to know, so Parker, what did JFA look like when you were covering him on the recruiting trail? Was he totally different? Totally different. Totally different. And I think this is the reason why. I think the reason Jaxsen Arnold looked totally different as a recruit was because he is a system quarterback. The system he was running at Denton Guyer was very well suited to the things that he does well. And it was more or less a one-read system. And I think Jaxsen Arnold at this point might just be a one-read quarterback. And so in order to thrive at the collegiate level, he's going to need an offensive scheme that suits itself to a one-read guy like he is. Because when he gets beyond that first read, man, you saw this at Oklahoma, you've seen it this year at Auburn. It's utter chaos.
You know what? Believe it or not, I think this is a cautionary tale because I think we're going to see this a lot more. Because you look at how high schools are run now, how high school offenses are run. They are predominantly, if not almost exclusively, RPO-based, which is a form of one read. I think we could see more quarterbacks like this, more high-priced recruits that don't pan out because they just don't have a whole lot of experience processing information before they get to the collegiate or, in this case, the SEC level. I think this is going to be a tale that we keep telling. Now, I'm not saying at Oklahoma, but I'm saying across the country, this will continue to pop up because of how high school football operates on the offensive side of the ball.
There was a listener that asked, how much of an investment do you think OU made in Ott? Well, I'll tell you, the total investment that was made in Jaden Ott was less than half of what was invested into Jaxsen Arnold. So comparatively speaking, it wasn't a huge investment. Still a sizable one. Let's not get it twisted. Jaden Ott got paid a lot of money to come to the University of Oklahoma for 1 year. But it still did not approach what Jaxsen Arnold made. And also, too, it's not a perfect comparison between a quarterback and a running back. You can move off a running back really easy, just throw another one in there. It's a lot harder to move off a quarterback. 588 says, name the great QB that Freeze has developed. Freeze somehow got the offensive guru / QB whisperer label. The dude he had at Liberty was just more athletic than anyone he played against. And yeah, what has Malik Willis done? I think he's the backup for the Packers now. Isn't that what he's?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. the Malik Willis experiment did not pan out. In recent years, it's been a rule of thumb that if you get drafted by the Tennessee Titans, the Grim Reaper is coming for you sooner rather than later. Malik Willis, Will Levis, Cam Ward, you might be next.
Cam Ward might know he's next.
Oh,
I mean, did you see that press conference a few weeks ago where he's like, I'm not going to lie, we ass. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just telling right there.
Ardmore Sooner says, can we give J.A. a little credit last year for getting hit and getting up? Agreed, he is not that good, but he seems to have some guts. Respect. No, he does have guts. And listen, he's a great human being. Loved covering Jaxsen Arnold. He's like, from a personality and just a human standpoint, he's one of my favorites I've ever been around. I mean, you guys all experienced this. He came and did several hours on the KREF pregame show every single Saturday for the entire 2022 football season, while Oklahoma was in the midst of a 6-7 campaign. It was miserable for so many of you people to watch. I know it was miserable to cover. Jaxsen Arnold was sitting in front of this microphone preaching patience every single Saturday before every single home football game. He was updating everybody on where things stood with Peyton Bowen, updating on everybody on the conversations he was having with other recruits that he was trying to bring with him to Oklahoma. The kid did a lot for Oklahoma. It's just he didn't do a lot of it on the football field. Most of his contributions did not occur on the football field.
How was he on the radio?
He was great, actually. Phenomenal. Even as, a 17-year-old kid at that time? He was phenomenal. Very natural. The text line will attest. They all heard him.
Frisco Sooner says, I totally disagree, Grayson. High school football, as far as the complexity, is light years away from what it was 10 years ago. Some of these quarterbacks are tasked now with running college offenses. Hey, I'm not going to disagree with that point. I think it's a very astute point. I will say this, though. What is a lot of college offenses now are RPO-based. Teddy and I talked about this yesterday on The Rush, but Teddy hates the RPO-based offense.
Yes, he does.
He
famously hates
despises it. But, I mean, even college, is one read almost. Now, I will say high schools, especially some of the ones I've covered, they do allow the quarterback to operate at the line of scrimmage and make their own checks and stuff like that. That is something I see every week, but I still see a lot of one read, a lot of RPO type of stuff. But very astute point by Frisco Sooner.
One more thing that I wanted to bring up before we get out of here on a Friday is the news out of Madison, Wisconsin yesterday, and this complicates the Jaden Petit situation just a little bit. Luke Fickell is going to return as Wisconsin's head coach in 2026. Now, is anyone happy about that up in Badger country? No, they are not. It has not been met with roars of approval from the Badger faithful. But for better or worse, probably worse, Luke Fickell is going to get another year to try and fix things at Wisconsin. And according to their athletic director, who I guess spoke with ESPN yesterday and confirmed, yeah, we're bringing Fickell back another year, there's going to be a significantly improved level of investment into Wisconsin football. And what does that mean these days? Well, it means exactly what it sounds like. There's going to be more money pumped into the operation. And you would imagine that a lot of that money is going to be allocated toward NIL. And so, definitely complicates things a little bit in terms of Oklahoma's pursuit of Jaden Petit, but no matter how much money is on the table for him, should he choose to honor his commitment to the Badgers, Grayson, there has to be an understanding, and I fully imagine that this is something Oklahoma is making Petit aware of throughout the process, making sure it's a message that they put in his ear over and over. You're not going to get the ball at Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think that's the overarching thing here is that they don't throw the ball. I will say this about Luke Fickell coming back, though. How are you going to make a significant financial investment when I guarantee you the people that are donating and making that investment possible are the ones that are pretty pissed off right now that Luke Fickell's coming back?
It's very odd.
Yes.
Very odd. And the type of situation where, frankly, if this whole thing holds and Fickell does get another year, great. But there's a world in which the people with the actual power in the Wisconsin athletic department, or not even the Wisconsin athletic department, the University of Wisconsin, say, no, Fickle's gone, and Mr. AD, you're gone too. We are starting from scratch. This is going to be a total reset because this is a disaster. And it is.
Yeah, it is. So at this point in time, do you still think Jaden Petit is going to flip to Oklahoma?
I do. I do still feel that way. Would I give Wisconsin a slightly better chance than I would have 24 hours ago? Sure. But still feel pretty good about where Oklahoma stands with Petites. Between him, Messiah Mickens, maybe Jacob Eberhardt.
Say what now?
We'll talk about that on Monday, folks. There's your cliffhanger. Come on back with us on the other side of the weekend. Enjoy the bye, everybody. The Rush is coming up next. Tyler and Ted have you for the next 3 hours here on The Ref, the home of Sooner.